London. Where are my Londoners at? I've lived in London 15 years. 15 years I've been in London. What a fantastic place. When I first moved to London, I moved to South London. My friend said to me, be careful, mate. In South London, bruv, yeah? They'll fuck you up, yeah, South London, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I'll move to Richmond, and they were lovely. If anything, I mugged them. Do you know what I mean? But it's nice to have a nice mix of people in. We've got some older people. See some young guys, there's some young people in. We've got some Gen Zs. Welcome. They can't cheer too loud because of their anxiety. I'm triggered. I'm going to hide. They're good people. I'm jealous of you. I mean, I'm a millennial. I don't even know what clothes to wear anymore. I used to have the skinny jean. Do you remember that? What do you wear? You know what I mean? I see the Gen Zers and they've got their cargo pants. That's what the young guys wear, cargo pants. They've got so many pockets. You know, it's for all their medication. And as a millennial, I'm like, phone, wallet, keys. They're like anxiety, ADHD, house keys, can't afford them, antidepressants. No, but I get it. Like, I'm not taking the mick. Like, young people in this room, of course you've got anxiety. Do you know what I mean? You've got legitimate things to be anxious about. You're young people. You know, I'm a millennial. I've got anxieties as well. They're not as big, but hey, my feelings are valid, okay? Okay? Check your privilege at the door. Thank you very much. Yes, Gen Zers are anxious about by the age of 40. They're all going to have to swim to work due to global warming. We get it. I've got to go to the dentist every now and again, okay? Yeah, the dentist. I can't go. I'm too anxious about it. I'm not scared of drills or any of that. I just can't be left in a room on my own with a man as I get slowly reclined into the therapy position and then lie to him about how much sugar I've had. Now, the reason I can't go to the dentist, and please tell me this isn't just me, is every time I go to the dentist, and whenever the dentist puts anything in my mouth, please say this isn't just me, but when anything enters my mouth at the dentist, my tongue starts to behave like a professional porn star. What the... Trying to deep throat his drill. Like I'm possessed. Your mother sucks cocks in hell. And I salivate too much as well, so that's a genuine thing. The last time I went to the dentist, I needed 4 fillings. During the second filling, I was salivating so much, the dentist had to send for a second woman with another suction hose. I got double suckies that day. 2 suction hoses and a drill in my mouth at the same time. My tongue was like, woo, gangbang!
American consumerism is based on just taking out late-night ads and pretending that you're mentally deficient. Just screaming at the top of your voice. Come on down to Wally's World of Mortgages. That's right, we've got mortgages. I'm crazy. The boss left with the keys. I'm by the safe. I don't even work here. We're going to give you a mortgage. Even if you never heard of the word mortgage, come on down here, we're going to give you one. Can't pay us back, won't pay us back, we don't give a shit. Even if you're a trailer park crack whore popping babies out of your womb like self-rising biscuits, come on down here now, you're a homeowner. People will take advantage of that guy. He seems nuts. It's the Ad Crunch Spectacular, whole infomercial devoted to the biggest piece of shit ever perpetrated on the public. It's the Ad Crunch Spectacular. You can have a washboard stomach in 12... Who needs a washboard stomach? Gonna play hillbilly bluegrass music right off your stomach there? It's shit! Hi, I'm Chuck Norris. I used to pummel vaguely Middle Eastern looking guys for a living. Now I'm selling this piece of shit Velcro nailed to an old ski. Flip it over, it's a canoe. Turn it inside out, it's a lady's evening dress. It's shit! You can have it by tomorrow. Of course you can, because it's a big piece of shit. That's what we do in America. We make lots of crap, but we deliver it really, really fast. Good things come to those who wait, but shit pretty much shows up right away, doesn't it? pick up the phone. I like the ab crunch. Bing bong. That was fast. Whack, 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 whack. I'd love to tell you things are better in America, ladies and gentlemen, but you know, I don't really know. It's we have a fantastic president, but most Americans just want to see his birth certificate. Show us your birth certificate, Obama. Because, you know, I know I watched the elections here, and I kind of watched them. I kept an eye on them. I didn't get the full brunt of it. Basically, I left the country for a while. Gordon Brown was in charge. I came back. Now, apparently, the country's being led by 2 gay antiques dealers. I don't know how that happened. But at least they're getting along. As Americans, let me explain it to you. There's 2 parties in America. You probably know this. There's Republicans and Democrats. The Republicans are called the red states. Democrats are the blue states. The blue states are generally either on the West Coast or on the Atlantic seaboard. So basically, Democrat is anyone who's seen water. If you go to America, find a Republican and take them to the beach. And even the Republicans hate each other now. So they have a splinter group called the Teabaggers, the Tea Party, Teabaggers, whose leader, of course, is Sarah Palin, future presidential candidate, who spent 2 years governing 8,000 square miles of snow and would occasionally nip out at lunch to blow the head off a moose from 300 yards away. That's presidential material. Another woman who's moved to the forefront, running for a senator from Delaware, named Christine O'Donnell, who's running on a platform of anti-masturbation. She actually wants to make masturbation illegal. I give that law 6 minutes. Because the Bible says it's wrong. These are her exact words. Well, if my husband has figured out how to please himself, why am I in the picture? I got news for you. You're not. No man ever whacked one out of the ballpark thinking of his wife, ladies and gentlemen. You'd be thinking of anything. You'd be thinking of a 300-pound Bavarian milkmaid strapped over a barrel, or you banger with a kayak paddle wearing a Burger King paper crown and making a call you Mr. King Big Daddy Spanky Bottom. As you're about to shoot a ropey parabola of man jizz onto her ham hock buttocks, David Hasselhoff walks in dressed as a Luftwaffe pilot and says you've got a tax refund coming. And if that's wrong, I don't want to be right.
Tell me, does anyone here own a cat? Your houses stink. Someone's got to tell them. Some people like cats, some people don't. I was reading the other day, apparently the Pope, he's a cataholic. Catholic. I've had an interesting job recently. I pretended to be a Spanish dentist. Thanks, that doesn't normally work. They said about me that I was too immature to be a father, but when I saw the first few seconds of my son's life, I thought to myself, he's naked. When my daughter was born, she had jaundice, so there she was, small, round, and yellow. We called her Melanie. My parents came up last weekend because I keep them in the cellar. That's not true. I don't know who they are. See, when I was young, I used to walk through the front door. I was hit by roast beef and Yorkshire pudding, open the airing cupboard, spaghetti bolognese all over me. We literally didn't know where the next meal was coming from. My grandparents, their names are Pearl and Dean. Of course, we just know them as Gran and Grandpapa, Papa, 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 Papa. Any students here? Your houses stink. Someone's got to tell them. Don't talk to me about unemployment. I come from a tiny fishing village in Derbyshire. I work... It's not near the sea.
I was in France a couple of years ago. Had to stop to use the loo at a little service station by the road. I knew it wasn't going to be a 5-star experience from the moment I walked in there. The lady in the kiosk was eating a pig's trotter with her one remaining tooth. Watching a chipmunk try to eat a piece of corn on the cob. I approached her, and of course, as a proud Remainer, I said to her in my best French, "Où est le bug?" She went, "It's round the back. It is round the back." So I went round the back, and there it was, a little shed. I thought, here we go. And I opened the door. Voila! Squatty potty! Throw up, France! Anyway, there was nowhere else to go, so I had to go in. I had to use it. So I went in and I closed the door, and it was brilliant because somebody had attached a rope to the back of the door. So you could essentially abseil down into the squatty potty. It's a Centre Parks activity right there, isn't it? You pay for that. Bungee jump, brilliant. I did notice I was getting a little bit more nervous as a traveller on recent flights I've taken. In your 20s, you don't care, do you? Like that, I'll live forever. I'll live forever, me. I'm going to live forever. As you get older, you start to really pay attention to the safety announcements on planes. It becomes more urgent. You're more aware of your own mortality. You know, they'll start the announcement. I will definitely pay attention, absolutely pay attention. The glasses go on, the headphones come off. Book goes down, notebook comes up. I'm like, oh. Last flight I was on, it got to that point, we've all heard it 1,000 times. We've all heard it 1,000 times. They put the little life jacket on, right? Put the little life jacket on, and she said, and of course, in the event of landing on water, there is a whistle to attract attention. In the event of landing on water, there is a whistle. A whistle to attract attention. Now, I think for the first time in my life, I really took in that whistle. The fabric of that whistle, if you will, the being of that whistle, the ergonomics of that whistle. There is a whistle to attract attention. My brain had the very helpful thought. It thought, well, if we have landed on water, we have essentially fallen out of the sky from 30 to 40,000 feet in a not insignificant metal tube that may or may not be on fire. If that hasn't attracted attention, if everybody in the surrounding area has managed not to notice, and you are then reliant on... I got this.
Comparison changed. since I was small. Because when I had a pimple on my nose, I wasn't going to school for 2 days. And apparently now, if you got balls the size of a space hopper or labia like elephant's ears, you go on TV and show everybody. That's... What's that? Oh, I'm mortified. Oh. Don't look. Get a close-up. I'm mortified. We've basically lost our sense of collective shame. That's kind of what's happened, isn't it? It's like I'm totally confused. When I get a girl's phone number now, I don't know whether to, you know, call her and ask her to dinner or just text her a picture of me cock. It's... When did that become a chat-up line? That's what I want to know. Right? The day that a man had the technical ability to send a picture of his penis to another woman, that's the day romance died for me. It really is. You know, who knows? Maybe that's what Alexander Graham Bell had in mind all those years ago, back in 1876 in his Boston laboratory when he invented the telephone. Alexander, to be able to speak to another person by means of an electrical cable in another room is the future. No. The future is that one day footballers will communicate with prostitutes solely by this device. By texting pictures of their penises. Or peni. Or whatever the plural for penises is. Oh, footballers. I tell you what, I feel sorry for George Best. That's who I felt sorry for. Could you imagine the damage that George Best would have done with a mobile phone, eh? There wouldn't have been a woman safe. If George had wanted to send a picture of his cock, he would have had to call up David Bailey, organise a photo shoot in the kitchen, take the film down to Boots the chemist, find out the girl's address, and then hand-delivered in an A4 brown envelope with "Do Not Bend" put on the front. That's... You know, technology has ruined romance. You know, we're in contact 24 hours a day. We never have to say goodbye. There's no adieu. There's no farewell. There's no "when will I see you again." All the love songs have been ruined. I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again, but I'll Skype you. It doesn't work. No one hears it through the grapevine anymore. I bet you're wondering how I knew. Well, actually, I updated my Facebook status. So, I drove all night to get to you. You should have just texted me a picture of your cock and saved the petrol money. I love that song. I drove all night, crept in your room. Is that all right? No, Roy, that's not all right. That's not even right if you're Dominic Strauss-Kahn.
I went out recently on a shopping expedition to buy 1 carrot. Right, that was all I wanted, a single carrot. My wife was cooking. She wasn't just cooking that. She had a recipe of which that was a component. She wasn't just going to cook the carrot. There you are, like a nice lolly. It was more ambitious. And I tend to, she tends to do most of the cooking. I'm aware some people are thinking, I doubt he's got a wife. I bloody have. There's no time to prove it, but just take my word for it. There we are. I own a woman. So, she, you can't say that these days, can you? Anyway, so to get onto more politically correct ground, my wife does all the cooking. Actually, well, it's actually true. I pretty much let my wife cook, but purely because it's a just sensible distribution of skills. My wife is a good cook, and I'm very poor at it. So my wife tends to do the cooking. I think it's quite an enlightened attitude, you know. I think these days cooking tends to be quite a sort of testosterone-dominated field. It's all your Gordon Ramsay, Marco Pierre, all these people, you know, Jamie Oliver. It's all men. I think someone should be modern enough to say, let's get women cooking. You know, let's be 21st century about this. They've got the same rights as we have in the kitchen. So my wife sent me out to a dangerous gag. No, I wouldn't clap that. That's sort of more clever than funny, really. So my wife was cooking, and I'm happy with my role, which is basically, you know, just foraging. But I went to buy this one, I say foraging, it's very much so. Normally, if you go to Tesco, you will lay hands on a carrot. There's no real jeopardy there. Still, I like to pick it up and go, you got it! You know, but actually, well, this is my point. It was surprisingly hard to buy a bloody carrot, right, for a start. So I took it to the till. This is all I was buying, one carrot. First of all, this lady tried to put it in a bag for me, and I always try, you know, to not take a bag if I don't need one for environmental reasons, but they're furious. You'll have tried doing this. If you say, I don't need a bag, they look at you like, how dare you? This woman she said, what are you going to do? I was like, well, I don't want to appear cocky here, but I've got 2 hands, there's only 1 carrot. I think I will nail this. I'm almost certain I'll get this home by hook or by crook. What am I going to do? Just walk around with 1 carrot in a bag? I've got my carrot in a bag, yeah. How's your day? Yeah, great, just walking with my carrot in its bag. I've got a piece of celery at home and a little bit of Tupperware as well. So, I don't want to make out I'm someone with a repertoire of vegetables that I walk... Anyway, then there's a receipt. She insisted on printing out a bloody receipt, and which meant the till roll had to be changed. Why? Why do you need a receipt for this transaction? All I'm buying is a single carrot. Why would you ever need a receipt? You're not going to bite into it and think, hang on, this is a pear. Right? It's basically, buying a carrot can't go that badly wrong. So by now I'm really impatient. I was frothing with impatience. I wanted to get home, see my wife, whether she exists or not. And finally, just when I thought I had finally secured this carrot, as I was walking out, this girl said, excuse me, sorry, before you go, so now I have to listen. I said, yes? She said, did you want to pre-order the Harry Potter DVD? Now, what part of my actions so far will give you that impression? I was trying to be polite. I said, sorry? She said, by now she's impatient, like I'm some sort of idiot. Did you want to pre-order the Harry Potter DVD? I mean, no, not really. My aim was to buy a carrot, and I would say I've achieved that modest aim. I mean, if I wanted to buy a Harry Potter DVD, what I'd probably do is go to somewhere like HMV, for example. I'd go to a place where you can buy DVDs. I'd pre-order it. When the time came, I would collect it, I'd take it home, I'd watch it. I wouldn't approach this transaction by going to a supermarket, seizing a carrot from the fruit and veg bit, and then standing there at the checkout thinking she knows what I really want here. She'll gather my true intentions. She knows that this carrot is a sort of metaphor for an orange wand.
The worst one, though, if someone's done something unstrong, we call them a weed. I don't know if there's any gardeners in. Weeds are the strongest bastard I've ever met. There's a weed called Japanese knotweed. You can cut it into 100 little bits, put it inside a plastic bag. It gets back out the plastic bag. This is a plant. It hasn't even got a face. Gets back out the plastic bag, meets back up with its mates, botanical term, gets back down into the ground, re-roots. It's so strong, so powerful, that it breaks up the foundations of buildings and destroys the value of property. Weeds can bring down capitalism, guys. And I'd like to see a pair of gonads do that. I have got no idea if my attempts to gentlify my son are having any impact whatsoever. I have no idea. I've seen one inkling, ever. He was playing with a couple of dinosaurs. He didn't know that I was watching. They were fighting. All his play is violent and fighting. But as the dinosaurs were fighting, I saw this. They were going, rah, 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 rah. And at the end of the fight, they went, goodbye, darling, goodbye. Yes, I did that. But the rest of the time, he's a nightmare. I'm so honest in my comedy about what a handful my son is. I feel like I need to reassure you, like, you know, I do love him. Don't ring anyone. I couldn't love him more. But if anything, that makes it weirder, because you've got this very extreme, very intense love for someone. That makes it more confusing when their behaviour is objectively disgusting. I think it's best summed up in cliches with a 3-year-old, because the cliches are true, so... Genuinely, without a second's thought, I would jump in front of a car for him. But also some days because of him. Because even if you take all of the violence out of the equation, just arguing with somebody that entitled but with no empathy is hard. And usually it starts from the second that you've woken up. I don't know if you've ever even shared a house with a 3-year-old. Normally, when you wake up, their creepy little face is already there. saying something like, I've had a poo. They say anything that means that you have to get up. So once I genuinely got, all the taps are on. And there was one day in particular that I will never forget because of the relentlessness of it. And it did start from the second that we'd woken up. Being eyes open, I was like, good morning, darling. And he was like, it's not morning, it's lunchtime. You're a lizard. I don't like daddy. You're not my best friend. Can I have a knife? Here we go. Come on, come to the kitchen. I don't eat meals anymore, only eat snacks. Can I have a cake? 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 Can I have a cake right now? That is not how you talk to me. Can I have a cake, please? Now I've got to give you a shitting cake. It's not even 7 a.m. That goes in, doesn't it? Brrr. Can I have another cake? Can I have another cake? Can I have another cake? Can I have another cake right now, please? Can I have another cake? Can I have another cake? The thing is, darling, what we've got to learn is that sometimes we want a nice thing, and then we get the nice thing, and we have to think, oh, wasn't it nice to have a nice thing? Doesn't mean we instantly have to have another 4. Can I have 4 cakes? 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 This went on so relentlessly that after a few hours of it, I, a grown-up, said to a 3-year-old I couldn't love more who asks for knives, and I meant it. I said, do you know what? You can have whatever you want. I swear to you, he went, I don't want whatever I want!
I love this show because it's the only one on TV with no vampires in it. Honestly, everything's got vampires now. All I know is if my daughter and me were vampires, it'd be exactly the same. I'd be texting her at 5 o'clock in the morning, where are you? Sun about to come up. You will explode. She'd be like, I'm in field with pals, drinking dead sheep, leave me alone. She gets home, I'm like, have you seen the state of your coffin, young lady? There's a half-dead naked bloke twitching in the corner. I've told you not to play with your food. So I stay out of my coffin, I hate you. She's just mad at me because I ate her boyfriend. Black people in the house say ho. Wow, it's like a 2-pack convention. Brixton's empty. I said that in Winchester once, absolute silence. Not one black guy in the entire place. All right, there was one, all right? He was on the second row going, please don't talk to me, please don't talk to me. Imagine being the only black guy in Winchester, though. Wouldn't that be fantastic? You'd have a license to go up to every black woman you see and go, excuse me, we have to breed. Listen, I've got to tell you this. The BNP had a Christmas disco. This is absolutely true. Right? The BNP had a Christmas disco. When the DJ arrived, they all walked out because the DJ was black. The BNP hired a black DJ. Their spokesman said he sounded white on the phone. What, the DJ's got to sound extra black on the phone? Hello, I am the DJ for your Christmas party. My name is King Babatunde Sonny-Ade Mandela. My fee is £100, but you can pay me in Buffalo. I think we've come a long way though, right? Because when I first watched television, there were no black people on it at all. If somebody black did come on, people thought there was something wrong with the set. They'd be on the phone to the TV repairman. Hello, there's a dark bloke on my telly. Can you come and get him off? The only black people on television were the black and white minstrels. Remember them? They had black shoe polish all over their faces and these huge white lips. Accurate. My mum would be this close to the screen. Well, it's nice to see some black people on television for a change. But look at them lips. They must be from one of the small islands. I love being a comedian. This is all I can do. Because in my heart, I'm a 16-year-old boy, really, which is great to be a comedian, but not if you're a gynecologist. Girls, can you imagine me coming into the room? You got your feet in the stirrups. All right, Mrs. Macon, let's have a bloody hell. I can see everything. Do you want some cider? I couldn't be an airline pilot, you know, because you're on your own in the cockpit. I'd have to be a steward out there with the passengers. Put on a bit of a show. People, if we're in a crash, please do not despair. Grab a mask from above your head and suck in lots of air. Whip on your life jacket and tie it very tight. Then stick your hair between your legs and kiss your ass goodnight. Actually, do you know what? Wouldn't mind being a pilot. Because everyone's life depends on you. So you can get away with anything, can't you? I mean, who's going to argue with that voice that they do, you know? This is your captain speaking. My name's Brian. How much do you earn? Hope you have an enjoyable flight. Our stewardesses are there to help you, and our stewards are there to show we employ gays.
I was such a fat kid. My mother used to buy bathing suits with blowholes in them. It was just... But my parents... I don't want to go into my childhood here because it's wrong. My parents hated me, okay? We're all going to hear the story, all right? My parents hated me too. My parents... All I ever heard growing up is, why can't you be like your cousin Sheila? Why can't you be like your cousin Sheila? Sheila had died at birth. They just... Whenever we would go, like, in front of a street, each parent would take my hand, hold our hand, we're crossing the street, and then they'd swing me into the traffic. They used to say, take candy from strangers. Ask the funny man in the raincoat, does he own a van? No, I had a very bad childhood, and that's because, and I'm sure none of you give a damn, but I was the only Jewish kid, this is the absolute truth, growing up in an all-Catholic neighborhood. You know what that's? The Irish people. Only Jewish kid in a Catholic neighborhood. You know what that's like? You were all doing Hail Marys, I was doing Hail Murrays. I mean, it was just... No Christmas tree? No Christmas tree. Do you know what that's like when you're the only kid without a Christmas? Because everybody has Christmas trees. And nowadays, it's like, well, we do it for all faiths. That's such bullshit. Yeah, we walk into an office building, and there's a Christmas tree, and there's a menorah. Bullshit. The Christmas tree goes up, 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 up. There's like a little shitty menorah with 2 orange lights that some angry Puerto Ricans lit backwards. I mean, yes. Juan, you lit those lights backwards. Fuck you, you killed our Lord. I mean, it is just... So, I'm at the age where I figure, screw it, I'm gonna have a Christmas tree. I got the biggest Christmas tree I got a 2-story high Christmas tree. I put everything you could think of on that. Up, 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 gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. On the bottom, I got the manger. I got the whole goddamn thing going there. The wise men, the sheep. The only thing is, I have the baby, but I'm Jewish. I got him a nanny. It was just, oh yes. And I redressed Mary. She didn't look good. That stupid thing over her head, come on. I put her in a Chanel suit, Manolo Blahniks, and a Louis Vuitton pocketbook. You're the mother of God. Look it. It is just... Am I wrong? If she had looked like that, she would have gotten into the inn. Yes. The point is, it's about looks. Mary, she looked good. She would have done better. Mother Teresa... Oh, don't give me, Mother Teresa, if she had looked better, she'd be a saint by now. Was she a bow wow? Yes. Did she need electrolysis? Let's talk to each other here. Even lepers were throwing their fingers at her. Here, get away. Because it is all about looks. This is my message, Great Britain. This is my message. Looks count. Education, looks count. I have no sex appeal, and it has screwed me up for life. Peeping Toms look in my window, pull down the shade. You have no idea. My gynecologist examines me by telephone. It is just...
I need to grow up. Thank you, mate. I don't know what's wrong with me. I still think I'm 18. My brain stopped developing at 18. My body has just continued to slowly rot. My brain went, that's me. I'm going to stay put, 18, that'll do me. My body did not have that luxury. That has continued to slowly rot and decay. And what will happen in this situation? Your brain will start saying yes to stuff that your body can no longer cope with. For example, a couple of years ago, I went to see the Stone Roses at Wembley. Now, yeah, little whoop over there. I tell you, I felt like whooping when I was invited. I tell you when I didn't feel like whooping, mate, when I'd been there for about 3 minutes. Because when you're in your 40s, that's not a party anymore, that's an ordeal. Hottest day of the year it was, 32 degrees. I'd spent 10 hours stood up in the blistering sunshine. My back was killing me, my balls were sweating. I took no sun cream, I burnt my forehead, my chin and my eyelids. I looked ridiculous. 4 flights of stairs, up and down to the nearest bar to keep walking up and down to get beer. I tell you what, it's very difficult to convince yourself you're still 18 when the new trousers you're wearing are giving you a blister on the underside of your belly. I didn't even know that existed in my teens, did you? A belly blister? I didn't even know that happened. I knew I'd messed up. As soon as I got into Wembley Stadium on that fateful day, I knew the whole thing had been a terrible, terrible error, because it was all guys my age. Yeah. 40s and 50s, all wearing the same clothes that we used to wear back in the day. Parker jackets, gazelles, bucket hats, mad for it, man, yeah. It didn't look like a gig, it looked like a historical reenactment. The Battle of Britpop, 1996. And it won't stop me going, because this is a hit of nostalgia for me when I go and see these bands. These are anthems from my youth. You know, Step On, Happy Mondays, You're Twisting Me Melon, man. Loaded by Primal Scream, probably the biggest one for me. An absolute classic from my youth. You know that one? Oh, what a tune. Just what is it that you want to do? We want to be free. We want to be free to do what we want to do. We want to get loaded. We want to have a good time. Oh, man, yes, that is exactly how I used to feel when I heard that song. I tell you, they played that at Wembley just before the Stone Roses came on. Comes over to Tannoy, he goes, just what is it that you want to do? I thought, I just want to go home, mate.
People ask me all the time, so Rich, how did you end up becoming a comedian? And I always say, why do you say end up, like I made a mistake? It's kind of a polite conversation you have with a tramp. So, fella, how'd you end up in a skip? It's the most fantastic job in the world, right? You make people laugh, you, fella, with all that stress on your face. Look at you, sit in the front row trying to get the jokes before anyone else. How desperate are you for comedy, my friend? Well, you people, Brits, but... Oh, I'm sorry, what? I wasn't expecting a response. Do you work?
I'm a student.
A student, all right. No more questions, Your Honor. It's very easy, no heavy lifting. Yeah? Why don't you think about being a comedian? What are you studying?
History.
History. That goes back a long time, doesn't it? Why don't you try American history? A couple hundred years. Boom, you're done. Listen, here's the thing, all right? You just say intelligent things stupidly. That's all there is to being a comedian. Or maybe it's stupid things intelligently. It's not rocket surgery. I'll tell you that right now. That's what I get asked all the time. So I bet you were the class clown. Were you the class clown? Screw you. Why would you suggest I took a childhood disorder and turned it into a career, you prick? No one ever says to a hooker, were you the class whore? I bet you were the class whore, weren't you? Let the mystery be. I love watching Brits snap. That is the greatest thing in the world. When a Brit snaps, you don't even know they've snapped. It's not like Americans who take out 8 or 9 people with a high-powered rifle because they're social animals. Brits snap and you go, 2 hours later thinking, I think that guy snapped while I was talking to him. At that point where he crushed the pint glass with his hand, he was a bit pissed off. That's why when it comes to a war on terror, something we invented, the war on terror, because Brits would never have a war on terrify, because what's not terrifying to Brits? Everything. They just don't show it, right? Brit, you've had giants plucking your daughters out of villages a couple thousand years ago. Look that one up, history boy. It's true. So the basic British reaction to anything terrifying is this. How much is this going to cost? You can't really terrify. That's why I'm pretty sure the war, the whole terrorism thing, I think the terrorists have just kind of given up on Britain, because what can they possibly do, right? Listen, I would never compare the scopes of tragedy of, say, the World Trade Center to the bombs that blew up in London, but the reaction is completely different, right? America still has this entire culture of fear about terrorism. It's basically manifests itself by terror alerts being scrolled across the bottom of the TV screen. by color. No explanation whatsoever. Just today's terror alert is orange. Now back to our show. What the hell was that? What does that mean? Orange, that's hunting accidents, roadworks, right? That's not good. It means be very, very aware of terror. So dwell on it now and then. Whereas in Britain, they blow up the buses in London, next day people are back at the bus stop waiting for the bus, right? And complaining about it because they're Brits. Bus is late. I mean, it's late. The one yesterday blew up. Yeah, well, that was yesterday. Today's today. I live in the present and the bus is late. That's why when you watch a Brit snap, right, you got to get really close to them. They'll pick a high street and just corkscrew for a while. That's... Not even knowing what direction to... What direction is corkscrew anyway? This is bullshit. And then you get too close and then you get sucked into the vortex, right? Are you okay? That moment when a Brit truly snaps and it looks like this. I'm going to write a letter. That's it. I've been pushed to the brink, you bastard. Nobody treats me like this, you son of a bitch. Huh? I'm not emailing this, I'm writing this. Wait till you get that tomorrow. Big red pillar box right in the mail. Postal strike.
So I had a weird one. Today I was waiting for a bus, and this old woman came up to me, and she went, "Excuse me, sir, do you have cerebral palsy?" And I went, "Yeah, I do." "Cool, you win the prize." And she went, "Right, my brother had that. He died from it." Then she just stopped talking. That was the end of that story. I looked it up, by the way. You cannot die from cerebral palsy. So I think she killed her brother. But I didn't know that at the time, and I spent the rest of the day going, "Ah, shit. I should be dead right now." But I'm not dead, which only means one thing. I am a god. Yeah, I spent the rest of the day thinking I was the second coming of Jesus. Trying to walk on water. Just, maybe I'm not crippled. Maybe just land is not my forte. Yeah, it turns out swimming is not my forte. I have a friend who just moved on to a houseboat because he's failed at life. Right? And he did the worst thing anyone's ever done to me. He invited me over onto a boat. And I went, "No. I'm not going on your boat. You come onto the land with the rest of us functioning adults." And he went, "No, come on, my boat's great. Come on my boat." And I went, "I'm not going on a boat. The only use I am on a boat is as the anchor." And he went, "Oh, you're afraid of drowning. Don't worry, I have armbands." You know what happens when I wear armbands? I still drown, but my hands stay dry.
Oh, we have a great great show for you tonight. We have a fantastic show. Very funny comedians. I know funny. I do very funny. People always ask me who I think is funny. That's the number 2 question I get asked as a comedian. The number 1 question I get asked as a comedian is, have you ever died? As soon as you tell someone you're a comedian, first thing they want to know, oh, you ever died? Oh, what's it like when no one laughs? Oh, tell us about the worst gig you've ever had in your life. Please, relive for me, in minute detail, the worst moment of your professional career. Have you ever really died? It's like saying to a doctor, tell us about the last patient you lost. What happened? With the family crying. I bet they were they? Yeah. People are such ghouls. It's the number 1 question. Have you ever died? Number 2 question, though, is what makes you laugh? People always want to know that from me. Who do you think is funny? And that's a nicer question. That's more understandable. You know, I make people laugh. People want to know what makes me laugh. In the same ways you might say to your hairdresser, who cuts your hair? Or you might say to someone in an Audi, who do you think drives like a cock? I like that joke. It's a short joke, it's a sharp joke, and also with that joke, I get to spot every Audi driver in the room. I can just see it there. Pinched expression on your face there. All right, no need to be like that about it. I've done well for myself. It's a very reliable machine. And the fact that I can tell you're an Audi driver by the expression on your face means technically you've just given a form of indication. So well done. Good for you. I knew you could do it. Yeah. Have you ever died? Who do you think is funny? You always get asked the same questions. That's why I don't like doing interviews. I love doing this job. This is great. I love standing here talking to you, though. But doing interviews, it's a necessary evil. It's part of the job. Having to answer questions. And I don't even like watching interviews. You'd rather watch a comedian tell jokes than talk about how they wrote them. You'd rather watch a singer sing songs than talk about their inspiration. You'd rather watch a sports person do their sport. You'd certainly rather watch a sports person do their sport. Come on now. Sports interviews can be turgid affairs at best. And then I hit it with my foot. You mean you kicked it? If you like. They're really interesting. And I'm not slagging sports people. It takes a great deal of single-mindedness to excel at a sport to a point where people want to interview you about it. But sports people are famous because they're good at sport, not because they're good at talking about sport. That's why you find a sports person who is good at talking about sport, the BBC will cream their knickers over them. We found a woman. She used to ride horses. That's a sport. And she's quite lively and engaging and charismatic. Put her on absolutely everything! Do not let her out of your sight. Even people I'm a fan of. Andy Murray. I love Andy Murray. Britain should be very proud of Andy Murray. He's done a lot to be proud of. He's won Wimbledon. He's Olympic gold medalist. And he put up with a lot of shit when he was named, 8th best in the world? Oh, you bloody loser, you. He's done a lot to be proud of. He's won Wimbledon, he's Olympic gold medalist, he's magnanimous in victory, he's humble in defeat. And he's a big comedy fan. He's been to see me live, I've met him, lovely bloke. But Jesus Christ. I cannot listen to him drone on one more time about how he won, stroke lost another tennis match. I can't do it. So then I hit it to him, and he hit it back to me, and I'm very good at tennis, but he is also very good at tennis. Some days I'm better at tennis than he is, but I think what's happened today was he was slightly better at tennis than I am, and that's maybe why he won the game of the tennis. For God's sake, man! I'm not very sporty, you can probably tell. I like hill walking. Doesn't really count as a sport. I like hill walking and camping. Proper camping, though. None of your glamping bullshit. Glamping. Derivation of the words glamorous and camping, where you stay in a yurt, which is more expensive than a hotel. What is wrong with you? A lot of people don't realise yurt is a derivation of the words yura and twat. A lot of people don't realise that.
So no, it's really nice being married. I like it. I feel like it's turned me into a woman, you know. And I know it's turned me into a woman because I've started buying candles. Bitches love candles though, don't they? Bitches love candles. They're so expensive though, the fancy ones, like the Joe Malone ones. I've worked out it's actually better value and you can get the same effect if you just set fire to a £20 note and sniff a fig roll. Not just candles am I buying though, guys. I've been buying other little bits for the house. I call them trinkets. Australian husband calls them great. Another bit of tat with a shit quote on. It's not true. They're essentials. How else am I supposed to remember to dance like nobody is watching? Unless I have a piece of driftwood to remind me to. Essentials. But my sister says the reason I like all this stuff is because I'm nesting, and she thinks that's really good. She's like, you need to have a baby. You need to have a baby so you've got something to look after you when you're old. I'm like, hang on, isn't that what the NHS is for? Unless the NHS is that screwed that by the time I'm old, you literally have had to give birth to your own medical professional. Push, push. Oh, congratulations, it's an oncologist. Because I'm not sure about having kids right now, so it means I'm very aware of my contraception. So I've done all the research for you. So the pill, 99% effective. Condoms, 99% effective. Eating a large Indian takeaway and then going, oh, look how pregnant I look. 100% effective. But my view on kids actually helped me become a little bit of an internet sensation earlier this year. There was a thing on Facebook, I don't know if you saw it, it was called the Motherhood Challenge. So it's where mums were putting up 5 photos of themselves that made them proud to be a mother. So there were pictures of, like, little Ken on the beach, little Ken trying avocado for the first time, little Ken asking, what kind of a name is Ken for a toddler? Lovely, lovely. Now, I do not have a problem with anyone being proud to be a parent. I just saw a lot of this stuff, thought I'm going to do the opposite. I did the non-motherhood challenge. I posted 5 photos of myself that made me proud not to be a mother. 4 of those were pictures of me asleep. And the 5th one was of me asleep, holding a bottle of wine. Really, really silly, right? Whacked it up on Facebook, didn't really think any more about it. For some reason, it went bananas, right? It went viral, got shared a gazillion times, went all the way around the world. At one point, I became Woman of the Week on a Swahili parenting blog. And it was really interesting seeing the different responses I got back to it. So the first lot of people to write on my Facebook page were women like me without children, saying things like, oh, Ellie, thanks for giving us, the childless, a voice. I was like, no worries, babes, you're welcome.
Going away with my wife, she does this thing, right? If you get her in an airport, I'm not allowed to have my own passport. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I'm a 40-year-old man, I get to passport control. They say, you got your passport, mate? I'm like, no. I'm not allowed to carry it. Apparently, I'm not mature enough. I don't know what happens, man. The moment you get in near an airport, she becomes like some sort of Russian people trafficker. Do you know what I mean? She's like, I must have all the passports. You cannot handle passport. You are too stupid for passport. I must keep all passports in zippy clear travel document folder, huh? Alongside printout from TripAdvisor. But you may carry the bags. I'm like a peasant boy for the day. Oh, thank you, master. Thank you very much. Yes, it's a real honor for me to carry your bags, you know. 11 pair of shoes for 3-day mini break is a good idea, huh? Yes. Maybe you will become a centipede while we are in Egypt. Who knows? I went to a stag do recently. I went to the Munich Beer Festival. Has anybody here been to the Munich Beer Fest? Seemingly everybody. How many days did you go for, mate? No days. Got deported on arrival. We went for 7 days. We got there on a Monday, right? We had 6 straight days drinking, Monday through Saturday. And on Sunday, we said, we've got to do something different, right? So we went to Dachau concentration camp. Yeah. It was a weird shout. There's no getting away from it. Could have gone go-karting. I said, no, let's do some World War II here. It took a long time to get there, and when we got there, it was shut. Now, yeah, it felt inconvenient. However, given the wider backdrop of historical suffering, I didn't necessarily think that my inconvenience was that big a deal, right? So I just thought I'll take it on the chin. we had a mate of us called Tim, and Tim started popping off at the German security guard. He said, mate, it's a Sunday, yeah? It's a big tourist day. It's outrageous that it's shut. I said, to be fair, it's outrageous that it was ever open, you know what I mean? It's it is weird that you're making this about you, Tim, to be honest. People say dumb things, though, don't they? I was having a beer with my mate Wayne the other day, and Wayne likes to tell you where he was on the occasion of big historical news events that happened within our lifetime, right? So I mentioned 9/11, and Wayne went, 9/11, remember I was that day? I was like, don't care where you were. I don't see how it's relevant. I don't see how your whereabouts on that fateful, terrible day will form some sort of meaningful historical footnote, Wayne. I'm being honest here. He looked hurt. He went, I went, all right, where were you? He went, karate. I went, see, that's exactly the sort of trivial shit I was worried about, Wayne. He said, well, you know, I was in New York 6 months before that. Makes you think, doesn't it? I was like, no. No. To be honest, all it makes me think is I wish you'd been there 6 months later. Sorry.
I hated teaching, and it's a brilliant, wonderful, noble profession, obviously, teaching. I hated it because I didn't want to do it. The only thing that got me through those years were children, because some of you parents will know, children are wonderful and weird. I used to teach a class in North London. You'll think I'm exaggerating this. I'm not. This is just one class I'm talking about. They were the strangest group of human beings I have ever seen assembled in one place, right? They were the strangest group of human beings ever in one. I include all of the series of Big Brother in that. Right, I'll talk you through some of them. There was a child called Marwood in that class, which isn't a real name, let's be honest. He was absolutely on a different planet to the rest of us. I'll prove it. I once said to him, Marwood, what are you going to do when you leave school? Straight away, he said, well, I'm going to be one of two things, sir. I'm going to be a gynecologist or a train driver. I said, they're rather contrasting professions, Marwood. This is only funny if you believe me, he wasn't trying to be funny at this point. He went, yeah, they are, aren't they, sir? I suppose at the end of the day, I just like tunnels. Fortunately, there was a child in that class that made up for all of them. Her name was Karen Powell. She was my favourite student of all time. She was 11 years of age, this big, and had two fascinating characteristics. Number one, her internal compass was buggered, right? So she was 10 minutes late to every single lesson, and the school wasn't that big. 10 minutes late. The second was, even though she was 11, she spoke, for reasons best known to our creator, like a repressed 1940s housewife. And you think I'm exaggerating this? I am not exaggerating it. She would come into my class like this. Hello, sir, how are you today? I say, I'm fine, thanks, Karen. How are you? She goes, yes, I'm very well, thanks. I'm very much looking forward to today's improvisation. I'll give you an example of her compass. She came to see me after a lesson. This is all verbatim quote. She went, excuse me, sir, can I have a word with you, please? And of course you can, Karen. What's the problem? Because I just wanted to say that I thought my performance in your lesson today was a little below par. I said, really? I thought you were great. No, I thought my use of characterization was paper thin. Thought the way I moved around the space was appalling. And my group work was something to be condemned, and I would like to offer you my most humble of apologies. I said, you listen to me, Karen Powell. You never need to apologise to me. You are my favourite pupil because you make me laugh my head off. Now go outside and enjoy your lunchtime. You've deserved it. She said, you know what? I think I will. I turned round at that point to do a little bit of admin, ladies and gentlemen. Karen was then faced with a choice. She could leave my room via the only exit, or she could go into my costume cupboard. I don't know what happened, but for safety, I'll tell you this. I locked my costume cupboard before I went for my lunch. Then I went away for a whole hour. When I came back, I opened the cupboard, and I swear to you, that child was standing with her back to me in a scene from the Diddy Man remake of the Blair Witch Project, just doing this. I'm rather afraid I have. I said, oh my God, I am so sorry. She said, don't you apologise to me. I've only got myself to blame. I'll see you later.
I am myself West London. Yes, I grew up in Ealing, down the road. Yeah, there's probably more than that, but they think it's vulgar to shout out. It is wonderful. It's wonderful, Ealing, isn't it? It is wonderful. It is. Queen of the Suburbs, it's called. Also, coincidentally, my nickname at school. But it's it is quite posh, Ealing, isn't it? Would you say it's quite posh? It is quite posh. I am quite posh. I now live in Enfield. Yeah, see? Quite rough. No, it's awkward. It is awkward. I'm quite posh. My kids are quite rough. It's quite awkward. I was trying to show my daughter the correct knife to use in a restaurant the other day, and she just said, a blade's a blade. That's wrong, isn't it? I was a weird kid myself. I was scared of everything as a kid. I was scared of Santa. My parents would tell me about Santa. I'd be going, right, sorry, let me get this straight, parents. You're going to let an old stranger into my room in the middle of the night because he wants to give me a present. Are you serious? I was scared of the tooth fairy. You know, your tooth falls out, leave it under the pillow, tooth fairy comes along, takes it away, leaves you some cash. I would be freaking. I'd be going, I don't want to sell my body parts. Who's coming next? The kidney pixie? The knob goblin. I'm mid-40s now. I'm mid-40s. I have no pension plan in place. I have no pension sorted at all. Having said that, I'm in show business. I may well spend my 70s in jail. I am joking, obviously. Loads of us are getting away with it now.
I've got the memory of an elephant. I remember one time I went to the zoo and saw an elephant. I was disappointed to find that Dunkirk wasn't actually a biography of William Shatner. I accidentally kicked my dog early and it bit me on the bollocks. My mate said it's karma. I said, no, if anything, it's even more angry. I tell you what always catches my eye, short people with umbrellas. I put on a lot of weight, so I rang up Weight Watchers. I said, it's an emergency, can you send somebody round? And they said, yes, we can, we got loads of them. I was actually thrown out of Weight Watchers for making sarcastic comments at the weekly weigh-in. As you can imagine, I accepted the decision with huge grace, because they threw her out as well. I was watching TV, the announcer said there's a documentary about the clitoris on the red button, but I couldn't find it. I was in a fancy lingerie shop. I said, are these knickers satin? He said, no, they're new. I didn't know what to get my little niece for Christmas, so I asked my sister what she's into. Apparently, at the moment, she's mad about frozen stuff, so I got her some oven chips and peas. It's been a tough week. I got myself a memory foam mattress, and now it's trying to blackmail me. As a child, I was made to walk the plank. We couldn't afford a dog. I went on a positive thinking course. It was shit. You would be. And it was half empty. The area in a Nando's between the front and back door is called the peri-perineum. What I like most about that joke is that people who know what a perineum is usually haven't heard of Nando's. Ironically, there's only a very small overlap between the two. The doctor told me to lose some weight. I said, how? He said, don't eat anything fatty. I said, what, pies, chips, that sort of thing? He said, no, just don't eat anything fatty. Old lady names are very much back in fashion at the minute, like Lily or Elsie or Rose, and we wanted something like that for our daughter, but we couldn't decide, so in the end we just called her Nan. So we should grow into it.
So I'm Jack. I live in London quite locally. I'm quite posh, as probably most of you have already gauged. Don't need shit for it though. You get quite a lot of stick for being posh, but you know, it's like I always say, sticks and stones may break my bones. But whatever, I'm with Booper. I am posh. I'm not like right wing though. Not prejudice. Not homophobic. Well, I guess I'm homophobic in the same sense that I'm arachnophobic. I'm not scared of spiders. I'm not scared of gays. Though I would probably scream if I saw one in my bath. I'm young. I'm not like one of the, your regular youth, I guess. Because people are afraid of young people now, aren't they? And I'm afraid of young people as well. But I forget what I'm meant to be afraid of. Because it seems to change with young people. If you read the tabloids, like one minute you get it's the young people because it's like knife crime and gun crime, hoodies, ASBOs, they're going to stab you, all of that stuff. Next minute, they're all fat and they're overweight and it's the obesity epidemic. And I'm confused. I don't know what I'm meant to be scared of anymore. I'm worried to walk down the street lest I'm attacked by a fat kid with a knife and a fork. I want to stay fit. I want to be good at things like fitness and health. I want to be healthy. But I've never been good at it, you know? Even when I was at school, I hated PE. I hated PE so much at school. Mainly because of my PE teacher. Just a complete arsehole. His name was Mr. Walton. He was from South Africa. And he was a lumbering hulk of protein shake and unresolved childhood issues, which he took out on me every week. He was horrible to me. He humiliated me every lesson, right? And I remember one class, right, okay? He tried to get us to do a bleep test, which I refused to do because we weren't living in Nazi Germany. Ironically, an environment in which he would have thrived. And he was shouting at me, pushing me, trying to embarrass me and humiliate me. I'm quite a sensitive soul. I couldn't hack it. Eventually, I flipped. He was like, go on, Jack, push yourself now, embrace the burn. Look at my body, Jack. How do you think I got to where I am today? I don't know, oppressing black people. Because he thought he was a motivator. He thought the stuff that he was saying was inspirational to the children. It wasn't. It was psychotic. And it never made any sense as well. I remember once, right, we were playing basketball and just in the middle of the game, he blew his whistle and in front of everyone just shouted at me, the problem with you, Jack, is you're all fart and no poo. Well, when I fart, I follow through and sometimes there's blood. But I tried at school, I just could never do very well. But I always think, right, if you weren't very good at school, there's always one thing that everyone that wasn't good at school can hold on to. And we need to hold on to this. And that is that at every school, all over the world, in every class, there was always that person that was better than everyone else, yeah? That got into all the sports teams, that was in the school play, that had a girlfriend. Mr. Perfect. You can hold on to the fact that, yeah, they were Mr. Perfect at school and everyone resented them and they were so great, But in later life, Mr. Perfect will have made his mistakes. He will have screwed things up. And now, with Facebook, you can find the bastard. You can hunt him down and look at his photographs and realise, yeah, you were Mr. Perfect at school, but now someone's put on a little bit of weight, now someone's lost their job, and they're sleeping in the back of their car, so screw you, Robbie Westlake!
My wife gave birth to two little girls, and exciting, it's exciting. The hardest thing with twins, of course, is picking your favourite. You know, that's the hardest thing. I go for the one that's not crying a lot of the time. No, the hardest thing is the lack of sleep. That's what everyone says, don't they? The lack of sleep. I've been getting 3-4 hours sleep at night, so's my wife. And, I mean, famously, of course, Margaret Thatcher, she got by on 4 hours sleep a night. And that sort of goes some way to explaining why she was a proper miserable bitch, right? Because, honestly, right? It's right, isn't it? I mean, I sometimes wake up after 4 hours sleep and want to close a couple of minds. You know what I mean? That's how I'm right? Take milk off children, give it here. The one time you know you're not getting enough sleep, right? There's 2 times it happens. One time is when you look in the mirror and you can see what you're going to look like in 15 years' time, right? That's when you know you're not getting enough sleep. The other time is when you hear one of the most beautiful sounds in nature, bird song, okay, at 4:30, 5 a.m. in the morning, and all you can think of is, shut up. Shut your little beaky mouth. You little feathery bastard. That's when you need to have a lay-in at some point. Someone needs to come and relieve you. One of the things I found amazing while my wife was pregnant, and not amazing, that sounds bad, but is how much you actually fancy her while she's pregnant, okay? It's phenomenal. It just strikes blokes. You see your wife, I saw my wife, I think, whoa, yeah, whoa. Mainly because her boobs go massive, right? That's convinced me that God is a woman, because only a female would make those boobs the best looking they've ever been, yet too sensitive to do anything with. You forget yourself sometimes as well. I forgot myself. I remember coming one night, it was 2 a.m. I got into bed, I had to be up at 7. And my wife was out here, like, just before she popped, and she turned over, right, in the night. Beep, beep, beep. And she nudged me awake, complete mistake, but I forgot for a second, I just forgot myself, and I woke up, I went, oh, that's so frustrating. And she was up straight, bolt upright over me, eyes red in the darkness. Oh, frustrating, is it? Luckily, I had my wits about me, I went, just frustrating not being able to help you. Where it came from, but I got away with it. She got angry at little things. We watched the film Superman, right? Now, I love Superman. She'd never seen it. She's from Derby, and I don't know if they've got a cinema there, to be honest. I think there was just one bloke on her street had a big telly, and that was it. And he just had one copy of Teen Wolf, and that was all he watched. So she'd never seen any films, right? So I said, right, you've got to watch Superman, it's a classic. And we were getting through loads of films and that while she was pregnant, bored and that. And we put Superman in, and we got about half an hour into it, and then the pause come on. I said, what's up? She went, I said, who? She went, Lois Lane. I don't know why she's talking like Bird and Maddie, my wife. Lois Lane. She is winding me right up. I said, why? She went, she has just been underwater for 15 minutes, unconscious, flown through the air at the speed of a bullet, lay on the ground, water's come out of her mouth, and now look at her. Her hair and makeup are still perfect, aren't they? She was really angry about it. But I sort of tried to appease her. I said, listen, that's because she's a Hollywood film star. She doesn't work at Greg's in Chorley. Right now, I shouldn't have said that. My wife's a supervisor. It was out of order, okay? No steak bakes for the week. I was starving.
I'm not a homosexual. Thank you for laughing at that. Any gays in? There's a few. Kill them! No. You're not gay in that shirt, honestly. No, I'm bisexual, which means you're all at risk. Start with you and work round, that's what we're going to do. No, as you can tell, I'm an absolute lad. So, it's just backstage having a lager and punching a woman. I don't know how to do it. Yeah, that's the thing to cheer, yeah. That's what I came for, punching women gags. No, I'm not very laddie at all. I did something very unladdie recently in Birmingham. I'm from Birmingham. You'd never tell, would you? I never had the accent. I was born better, but I'm joking. I love it. I do love the accent when I hear it. I was in Starbucks in Birmingham recently because I'm earning, and these two women were having a conversation with the thickest sort of black country accents, and the one said to the other, she said, "You're still going to take the kids to the Middle East?" And the other one said, "Yeah, I'm going to take the babai to Abu Dhabi." Right. I had to leave Starbucks. I was in so much pain laughing. No, I did. This is really unladdie. I was in the Touchwood Shopping Centre, which I think is the gayest name for a shopping centre, isn't it? You had a lovely time there. These two sort of roughly 14-year-old lads tried to mug me. They came up to me and they went, "Give us your wallet." And I went, "No." And then farted out of nervousness, because I was so terrified, absolutely terrified. I was like, "What are you going to do if I don't give you my wallet?" And they're like, "Oh, we're going to headbutt you." They'd be lucky, because they're about this high. Also, the headbutt is the worst threat ever, isn't it? Because, sure, hit somebody in the head. That is a weak point. What are you going to hit them with? My head. That's like hitting some of the balls with your balls, isn't it? We might do that later, who knows? I don't know where I got the confidence from, but I just went, "I've got a knife." And I sort of did, because I'd just been to Lakeland, so I did. It wasn't a knife, it was a pizza wheel, so... I didn't stab them, I cut them into 8 neat slices. It was fine. I mentioned farting there. I'm good at farting. That's a masculine thing, isn't it? Are you good at farting, sir? No. What's the longest one you've ever done? I haven't timed it. Mine's 14 seconds. Which I think might be a medical emergency, I'm not sure. Somebody asked me, how did I know it was 14 seconds? Genuinely, it was because I was watching Countdown at the time. I'm not laddie, but I have a sort of naughty side, and I call it walrus. And that's because my spirit animal is a walrus. Don't worry, I don't believe in any of this nonsense before I move on. I don't believe in, like, ghosts or any of that. I hate when people say they believe in ghosts, because they always say things like, "I saw a ghost at the end of my bed." It's always in a conveniently creepy place, isn't it? No one ever goes, "I saw a ghost in Morrison's." So it just doesn't happen.
I don't know if you're aware of the myth of the hairy... Grew up in the middle of nowhere. To give you an idea, right, I don't know how many kids you had in your year at primary school. I had, in my year at primary school, 4 children. There was a 5-a-side football tournament. We weren't allowed to enter. We genuinely, this is not a lie, had a I mean, I don't know if it was education. I don't remember. It might have just been the teacher going, "Oh, sod this, I'm off for a fag. Here's Steve, right, enjoy yourselves."
You don't need to be in the army these days to get a gun if you're a young person. A lot of gun crime on the streets, a lot of caps getting popped. I don't really know the solutions. I just know the problems. It used to be in the UK at 14 years old you could legally be in possession of an air rifle, which is not a proper gun, it's still SWAT, right? But that got moved to 17 years old. because 17-year-olds, they're dead responsible. If somebody was pointing a gun at you, you'd be going, "Nah, it's fine, he looks about 17. It's good." He knows what he's doing. 17 years old to be in possession of a firearm, but you've got to be 18 before you can be in possession of fireworks. 17, you can shoot somebody dead, but you've got to wait a year before you can frighten the shite out of a cat. But drugs, I get offered drugs quite a lot in this game. You get offered the usual suspects like ecstasy, speed, and a drug called horse tranquilizer. You shouting yay or nay? There. I can understand people who don't know anything about drugs. Maybe trying ecstasy because it sounds quite good. Or the connotations of the name, ecstasy. You think of states of euphoria and happiness. And then speed is pretty self-explanatory. Then horse tranquilizer. That hardly sounds the most sociable of evenings. The fact I've replaced the original name with the effect it has on a horse. I think that's the way every drug should be tested. Give a lot of them to horses, then you can see what it actually does to you. It would also make the Grand National pretty interesting. 20 quid on the one that's breakdancing, please. I was watching a programme about children from the opposite end of the social spectrum. A programme called My Super Sweet 16th. Anybody seen this? Don't get too excited, it's quite shite. I was watching it about 2 o'clock in the morning when the TV's quite shite. Anybody watch late night telly? You ever been up that late at night when the TV just goes, "Get to bed"? There's nothing to see here. Unless you're a deaf baseball fan with a gambling problem, Peter. Does anybody watch these late night Channel 5 phone-in quiz shows? Anybody seen these, like Quiz Mania and The Cash Vault? It's just robbing drunk people. No, you come in at night, there's some guy going, "Okay, everybody, okay. Thanks for watching, okay? For £10,000, we're looking for a guy's name." You come home steaming. "I know a guy's name." £10,000. I know a few guys' names.
The other night I took my missus out for a well fancy meal. Bill come, she says, "Let's go halves." I says, "Nah. I insist. You go back to the car. I will do a runner." Just caned it out of Nando's. Life is so good at the moment, people. My little boy is the sweetest thing in the world. He came into my bedroom, right, a few days ago. I was fast asleep. I was spark out. I was down. I was there. Eyes shut. And then he comes right up to my face. "Daddy." Like that. "Daddy. Daddy. Daddy. Daddy!" I open my eyes, and do you know what he says? "Daddy, I loves you." Yeah, I says, "If you ever wake me again, you text me that stuff, yeah?" Come here. Mwah. Happy birthday. Ah, well, good to be here, Apollo. Let's hear it, people. Yeah. What a summer of sport. It's been amazing. I've been loving all the moves, man. Oi, let's do all the moves right now, everyone. Let's do the Mobot. The lightning bolt. The England football team. Paralympics, proper inspiring, wasn't it? I was watching that with my little boy in the telly box. He turns to me, he says, Daddy, when I grow up, I want to be disabled. I says, oh, result, I'm claiming disability benefits for you. It's well nice, man, I've got to say that, because a lot of people just take one look at me and think, guilty. That's wrong, do you know what I mean? I'm a nice boy, you know what I mean? I got arrested like one time in my life. Yeah, I got caught shoplifting at Tesco's, which was my own stupid fault, man. I should never have asked for the club card points. I don't understand the coppers, do you know what I mean? I think they just make the rules up as they's going along. I mean, this one time, I beat up this white geezer and they done me for ABH. Another time, I beat up this black geezer, they done me for impersonating a police officer. Other people get judged. The people get judged over here, sweetie pie. Over here, the people look at you and think, hooker? And that's wrong, people. She's a classier girl than that, man. She's like an escort. No, man, it's... Sweetie pie, listen, man. Everyone properly gets judged, you know what I mean? And you're well nice, you know what I mean? You're a very nice girl, innit? Yeah. What's your name, sweetie pie? Is it L'Oreal? Because yours is worth it. Or is it Jacob? Because you're a cracker. Or is it Gillette? Because you're the best a man can get. And you've got a tiny tash, tiny.
I am quite impressed at the number of sports that have been adapted for disabled people, though. It's nice that they are so inclusive these days. I reckon we should go further and adapt versions of classic board games as well. You could play a very special edition of Guess Who, where all the characters had disabilities. No one would ever win, because everyone would be too afraid to describe their character in case they caused offense. The questions would be fun as well. Is your person incontinent? Does your person have crayon around his mouth? Does your person have trouble speaking properly? Is your person Danny Dyer? You could also have a disabled version of Monopoly, where every space is just free parking. Speaking from the personal experience of a bloke with a disability, I think that the dating game is much harder for people like myself. I've tried speed dating. That didn't work. By the time I'd typed out a sentence, it's time to move on to the next person. And I'm not looking for sympathy either. I'm just using emotional blackmail to try to get someone to sleep with me. I'll be in the bar afterwards, if any of you are interested. Yes, even you, sir. One of the main problems I have with dating is that I find it hard to approach girls in the traditional sense. I don't have the ability to chat up a woman. When I meet a girl, I have to type them up. And that just sounds wrong. You type up your dissertation, you type up your will, and you type up your letter to your grandma. There's nothing sexy about being typed up. Even if there was, when you're typing excitedly to a woman and accidentally spell something wrong, autocorrect is a ducking nightmare. For example, I once asked a girl if she had a pen I could borrow, so I could write down her number. I didn't expect it to say, "Can I borrow your penis?" So you can imagine my surprise when she pulled it out right in front of me. It's at this point in my set when I like to remind people that I'm not related to Stephen Hawking in any way. In fact, the closest I have ever come to being Hawking is when I went to see The Theory of Everything at the cinema. It's the movie about Stephen Hawking and his life. I didn't go to watch it, though. I just went so that I could sit at the back, say random sentences on my iPad, and fuck with the rest of the audience.
Tell me, does anyone here own a cat? Your houses stink. Someone's got to tell them. Some people like cats, some people don't. I was reading the other day, apparently the Pope, he's a cataholic. Catholic. I've had an interesting job recently. I pretended to be a Spanish dentist. Thanks, that doesn't normally work. They said about me that I was too immature to be a father, but when I saw the first few seconds of my son's life, I thought to myself, he's naked. When my daughter was born, she had jaundice, so there she was, small, round, and yellow. We called her Melanie. My parents came up last weekend, because I keep them in the cellar. That's not true. I don't know who they are. See, when I was young, I used to walk through the front door. I was hit by roast beef and Yorkshire pudding, opened the airing cupboard, spaghetti bolognese all over me. We literally didn't know where the next meal was coming from. My grandparents, their names are Pearl and Dean. Of course, we just know them as Gran and Grandpapa, Papa, 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 Papa. Any students here? Your houses stink. Someone's got to tell him. Don't talk to me about unemployment. I come from a tiny fishing village in Derbyshire. I work... It's not near the sea.
I was talking about Danny Alves, the black football player who had a banana chucked at him, right? And I said, after it happened, my white friends, not being racist, just casually were asking me how I felt. Now, how I felt was I was offended, but not for the reason that they thought I'd be offended. Like, I wasn't offended because it was racist. I was offended because of how it was racist, you know? The guy chucked a banana. Really? A banana? What kind of lazy, boring, uncreative racism is that, man? It's not the 18th century, it's the 21st century. Black people, we've moved on. We like other things now, you know? Chuck a Nando's menu, man. A banana. That's not racism, that's potassium. I'm not offended by that. Up your game, Belen. What's wrong with you? So, yeah, man. Love sports, man. I'm a massive sports fan. Me and my mates always arguing about sports, you know, always arguing about stuff. Like, we got into one argument, me and one of my mates in particular, we got into an argument start of the year. A former football player, he came out in the news, right, to reveal that he's gay. Now, that's cool. Fair credit to him for coming out, that's all good. However, at the same time, I can't help but think, why is it someone famous revealing that they're gay is still seen as a headline? No, it shouldn't be a headline to be gay in today's day and age. Like, so what? You know, like that shouldn't be a headline. It's like, okay, it's cool. You're gay. What do you want? A cookie? You know? A cock? Knock yourself out. Go for it, right? No big deal, right? But then the weird thing was, after that player came out, I was talking to a mate of mine who is gay, because that's what happens every time there's a story in the news that's linked to gay people. I was asking him how gay people felt as a whole, right? But I was saying, I was like, bruv, I don't get it. Like, why is it a big deal to be gay in today's day and age? Like, it's not a taboo, it's normal, it's accepted, it's cool, right? But then my mate, he was like, no, Nathan, let me stop you there, okay? Yes, I hear what you mean, you know, the world is more tolerant, it's more liberal, yeah, I get that. But trust me, if someone famous comes out, it's still a big issue, innit? Because, like, gay people, we're still seen as a minority, you know? It's like you being black, for example. No, it's not. Like, when I was 17, 18 years old, I didn't have to gather my family together. Mum, Grandma, I've got something to tell you guys, yeah? Mum, remember the other day when you came in my room and I was reading a Nando's menu and you asked me why? Remember that? And, Grandma, remember last weekend when I picked you up and I was half an hour late for no reason? Remember that? Yeah? Well, basically, it's because I'm, because I'm... What, why, what? What you is? It's because I'm... No. In my house? You is? Yeah, I'm urban.
I'm used to my appearance provoking the full spectrum of facial reactions everywhere I show up, and you absolutely did not let me down. You were delighted, weren't you? You gave me some wonderful face when I came up here. You looked at me like your mother-in-law just cancelled dinner. I've been lucky enough to travel, and I'll never forget my first trip to Australia. I went to a place called Perth. I got off the plane. First person that saw me said the following. Hey, mate! Hey, mate! Why is Freddie Mercury wearing a kimono? Well, hey, mate, why is Freddie Mercury wearing a kimono? Now, this man opened the interaction with the words, hey, mate. Our eyes met, right? I was the mate. Case closed. Then he said, why is Freddie Mercury wearing a kimono? I looked around, there was nobody else there. I was persons 1 and 2 in the rhetorical question. I've never met this man, and already, grammatically, I'm on the back foot. I wasn't going to put up with that. You would have been proud of me. You can't show any weakness. I summoned up every ounce of testosterone in my body, and I fired it ocularly at this chap. And I said, I think you'll find that this is a smoking jacket. Yeah, I showed the bugger. There's a lot that's not made sense, though, and one of the things that I still struggle with to this day is how uptight us Brits are. I didn't realise in the UK, how are you is a rhetorical question. How are you is a rhetorical question. If somebody from the UK asks you how you are and you tell them, they would be mortified. Now, there are geographical anomalies, I'm delighted to say. If you ask somebody from Liverpool how they are, they will tell you. 10 times out of 10, and I love them for that. Now, from personal experience, they oscillate wildly between 2 very distinctively different states. The first one is thus. How am I? I'm sound, mate. I'm buzzing. I'm having a belter. Do you know what? Work sound. Aaron Dawes is sound. Even our Anthony's being sound. Look at the weather, lad, cracking the flags. I love you, cadet. Apologies for the accent, by the way. I have the ability to blend in seamlessly with my environment wherever I go. I feel an energy, I match it, we become almost indistinguishable. Silly. Now, that's the first state. Now, the second state of Scouse being is rather different, and it is as follows. I'm fuming, lad. Oh, don't you start, lad. I am fuming here, mate. I'm fuming. I am fuming. I'm up the wall with work. I've seen me arse with my dad, Everton are being shite again. You're doing my fucking head in. I am fumigating naked.
But I have developed a new hobby. Some of you probably already do this. I've started listening into people's conversations on the bus and the train. It's quite entertaining. And I was listening not long ago to 2 old ladies, and they were talking about what they would do if they were men for a day. And I thought, this is going to be brilliant, because pensioners are, by definition, bonkers. But I went out to lunch with a couple of my friends, and I thought, well, I'll ask them the same question. So my first friend, I said, what would you do if you were a man for a day? And without even thinking, she just went, I'd have a wank. Sounded like she needed to. She sounded awfully tense. But these old ladies, different generation to me and my friends, in their 80s, and one of them just said, Edith, what would you do if you're a man for a day? The other one said, knowing my luck, I'd get a Tuesday. And what can you do on a Tuesday? My second friend, I said, what would you do if you're a man for a day? She just said, I just do everything. And I thought she meant like in a sexual way. And I said, is that what you mean? Like you just do everything? And I said, is that what you mean? She went, no, just all the little jobs round the house. But I've been trying to go on a diet. I'm not really very successful. But I find that whenever I go shopping and I can't get into things, you know, when you try clothes on and you're the size you weren't expecting to be, I just come home and I put on a song, and the song is Big Girls Don't Cry. You know the song? There's a couple of versions of it. Big girls don't cry. Such a load of rubbish, that, isn't it? Big girls don't cry. Yeah, they do. Cry because they're fat, cry because they can't get a boyfriend, and they cry because there's no trifle left. But I was on holiday in Spain last year, and I'm bragging, I know, and outside the hotel was a lovely pool, and I wanted to go in the pool, of course I did, but I'm not overly confident with my figure in a swimming costume, and I was watching the women who were walking in the pool, and these were like tiny, you know, these wafer-thin, tiny women. And I thought, I'm not going to walk in with one of them. If I walk in with one of them, people are going to think I've bloody eaten one. And I wouldn't anyway, because there's no meat on them. So what I decided to do instead is just to walk in with the children, because kids are all really fat these days. If I walk in the same time as a 9-year-old boy who's got bigger tits than me, nobody's looking at me anymore. But like I say, I don't have kids, and most of my friends don't have kids, but I think if you ask any woman who doesn't have kids what would worry them about having kids would always be childbirth. It's quite a reasonable thing to worry about childbirth. From what I understand, it changes you downstairs, doesn't it? It changes you downstairs. I quite like my downstairs the way it is, thanks very much. Certainly don't want a bloody extension. But it's bound to change though, isn't it? Because you're forcing a person out. That's what you're doing. You're forcing a person out. I've never forced a person out. I forced a couple in. With a shoehorn.
Nurse girl, could I have the psychological profile now, please? This is... Did you see something awful then? How awful. Would you like to take Lee over that side? Yes. Nick, you come over this side. I want you to look up at the screen. I'm going to show you 3 images, and I'd like you to tell me which one you'd rather spend the evening with. Excuse me, Mr. Jelly. Would you rather spend the evening with number 1, a teddy bear, number 2, Tom Cruise, or number 3, a large courgette? Which one are you going to go for?
I'll go with teddy bear.
You're going for the teddy bear. You're going to play safe. Let your arms hang loosely by the side. That's right. Going over here now to the Navy, where the food is obviously a lot nicer. Excuse me, Dale. Similar arrangement for you, Lee. Would you rather spend the evening with number 1, a hot water bottle, number 2, Jude Law. No stains on the upholstery, please. Or number 3, a large sprig of purple-headed broccoli. What's it to be?
The purple head wins all the time.
It does. Excellent. Would you like to now join me back in the middle? Lee and Nick, come over here. Some straightforward questions now, just to find out a bit more about you. What's your favourite aftershave?
I don't wear aftershave.
You don't? Deodorant?
Sure.
Let's have a little sniff. Oh, you do smell quite fresh, Gail. Would you like to?
Oh, yes.
Acceptable. No, nothing musty there at all. What's your favourite aftershave, Lee?
It's brewed for me, Julian.
Is it brewed? Any on this evening?
Just a touch.
Oh, that's lovely. Just a faint aroma there. Would you wait until you're asked, please? And finally, what's your favourite position, Nick?
Doggy.
Doggy style. What sort of dog do you have? Your favourite position?
Reverse cowboy.
Reverse cowboy. Laughing at your own jokes there. It's like you're on stage with Billy Connolly. Now then. Right, that's it, Nurse Girl. Could I have the rubber glove now, please? For medical reasons, I'm obliged to conduct an internal examination. Thank you very much. Could I have the swabs at once? Here they come. All sterilised, open wide. Oh, I say. Lots of room in there, isn't there? What a waste. And Lee, there we are. Perfect. Get those under the microscope at once. Take Lee over to his screen. Nick, come over here. Let's see the results of your swab test first, please. Okay, nothing to worry about there. Just a couple of common or garden microbes. It's almost as if someone just filmed a lava lamp. Now, the sailors' results, please. Not very nice, is it? Didn't waste your evening, obviously.
So I've moved house recently and now I have a wife. Thank you. I have a wife now. I love saying that. I love my wife. I like that. Didn't used to like that whenever I'd meet a married couple, especially if there was a man in the situation. Didn't like it when he said, my wife. Always sounded so aggressive, so territorial. Ownership. This is my wife. She is my property. I own this woman. Oh, I didn't have to, I'm not going to like saying that. But now, I own a woman. And I love to show off my property. I'm proud of my wife. She's one of my favourite things, apart from my outdoor pizza oven. No, I do like to say my wife. I should clarify this, but not for that reason. I like to say it because it took us so long to get married, right? Our original wedding date was on April 25th, 2020. Yes. And then somebody fucked a bat. And she caught me doing that and cancelled the wedding. Proper joke! 3 weddings cancelled. 3 weddings cancelled! Awful, very stressful. The first one, the worst, obviously. By far the worst. We got a call from our venue about 2 weeks before the wedding was supposed to happen, and they said, it's just not going to happen. We're cancelling all of our events. We're so sorry, right? It's about 2 weeks before the first national lockdown, they called us and said that. And that is devastating, to be told that you are not allowed to marry the person that you love most in the world, that you want to spend every single minute of every single day with. And then 2 weeks later, the government told us we had to spend every single minute of every single day together. And as we all found out, that is too long to spend with anyone. No matter how much you love them, you need a minute off now and again. It's done mad things to our relationship. We're basically the same person now. We share everything, especially since we've got married. Don't know if you know this, if you're about to get married, I'm going to let you in on something. You have to share everything, including, and I didn't know this was one of the rules, a Google Calendar. No one told me. I got a bit of a shock. 2 weeks after we got married, I was in a meeting with people at work that I didn't really know that well. Work people. Practical strangers. At the end of the meeting, we had to go round the table and read out what we had coming up in the week following so we could put a new meeting in. I announced to this room full of practical strangers that the following Wednesday, I had my smear test. We're on a new level of intimacy I did not know existed. And I like it, but you do leave things behind at the previous level of intimacy. Don't you? You do leave some things behind. Like, we know each other so well now. We've lost that sort of exciting, unknown, sparky, sexy thing. That's dead. I'll tell you the moment that went, I know the split second. It was lockdown 1. It was in our bathroom. Our bath's directly next to our toilet. I needed a piss, so I just went for a piss. She turned round, looked me directly in the stream and said, you need to drink more water.
Oh, look at this pretty lady. Don't fight it. I can tell by your eyes that you want me. Oh, fuck it. I can't keep it up. It's all a joke. I've never left the country. Good evening, folks. Very, very, very pleased to be here tonight. I want to tell you a bit about myself, because I've started off quite aggressive, so I'll pull back, right? My parents arrived in London in the 60s. And London in the 60s was very, very similar to Australia now. No real diversity, right? I remember my first day at primary school, I ran into the classroom, I ran straight back home, and I went, Mum, Mum, apparently there's a black boy in my class. I can't find him anywhere. So you young people, you're very, very lucky, right? Young people. How old are you, son? Right there, you. 16? What year were you born?
91.
1991. Did you hear that noise? That's called jealousy. There are people in this room with underpants and socks older than you. Where are you from, child? Where are you from?
London.
London, big place. Scale it down. I'm not driving a minicab. Let's work together. Kilburn, North London, yeah. South London, representing.
A lot of people know that I used to be a bouncer, which, if you didn't know, I imagine that's come as quite a surprise. What? I was. Problem is, I still look like a bouncer. There's about 12 of you in here that showed me your tickets, and people still treat me like a bouncer. I went out a little while ago for a drink. I'm in the bar's hot, so I went outside, get some air, send a text message. So I wasn't stood there very long. I looked up from my phone and a queue had formed. That's the kind of... I had to learn how to be a bouncer while being a bouncer, which is like the worst place to learn how to do that job, especially when people think you can fight. I accidentally got a reputation that I could fight. I was 19, it was in my local bar, and I'd been there I was drunk. I was really drunk. I'd had like 50 beers. I had 3. You know I had 3. Because I realised about that line, like, as you get older, you think that line's going to stop. It doesn't. It just changes. Like, do you remember being 19 and you go out drinking with your friends and you have like 3 Budweisers and you're comatose, but your friend says, how many drinks you have last night? And you're like, 50. Then you get into your mid-30s and you actually go day drinking and consume 50 pints and then come home and like throw up on a cat and go to the toilet in the cupboard. But the moment your partner says to you, how many drinks did you have last night? You're like, 2. I think that second one was a bad one. I was really drunk. I was that level of drunk where I've now gone to the toilet and now I can't stop going to the toilet. Like, have you ever been that drunk, you've broken the seal, and now you can't stop pissing? It doesn't even look like piss anymore, does it? It's so clear. It doesn't it? It doesn't look... Have you ever had that drunk thought where you're like, taste it? No, me neither. I haven't unless you have. I haven't, you, because right, that's disgusting. Why would you bring that up? I haven't. I was really drunk, and a fight kicked off. This guy threw a drink in this lady's face, and then he punched a bouncer and tried to run out of the club. And as he's gone to run out, I've gone to lean on the bar because I need a nap. And he tripped over my leg and hit his face in the bar, knocked himself clean out. Now, I'm stood over this dude, and I'll be honest, I was just trying to figure out if I was in the toilet yet or not. And I stood over this guy, and the owner of the bar came up and he shook my hand, and he said, well done. I was like, Then the barmaid came over and she went, yeah, look at him, and he's pissed himself. I was like, yeah, he's... Yeah, he's definitely did that. There's a lot of misconceptions about bouncers as well. People think we know a lot more about star signs than we really do. Like, we don't. We just know that's how to catch you out. Because I don't know, but I also know neither do you. And you always know who in the queue to pick because you can see them practicing. We've all done it outside clubs when you're waiting to go in, going 3rd of the 8th, 94, 3rd of the 8th, 94. Then they get to the front and they're confident. They hand their ID and you go, date of birth, please. You go 3rd of the 8th, 94. You go, what's your star sign?
I get shocked about what I get annoyed by. I get really annoyed by pizza leaflets. Everyone here in London, you know, you get pizza leaflets through your door. I get 8 a day, sometimes more. You know, I shouldn't bother them. I should pick them up, put them in the bin. But everyone that comes through, I go, ugh. It's like someone standing next to you all day long going, do you want a pizza? Fancy a pizza? Do you want a pizza? I want a pizza. Fancy a pizza? No, I don't want a bloody pizza. I wouldn't mind if the photographs made them look tasty. But, you know, it looks like someone's cooked a kid's painting, doesn't it? Another thing that annoys me, tea bags. Oh, God. Because they're not bags, are they? You can't put anything in them, you can't take anything out. That's the minimum you expect from a bag, isn't it? If someone said to you, can you hold my bag? And you couldn't put anything in it, you couldn't take anything out. It hasn't got handles, don't have handles, do they? You go, it's not a bag, it's a cushion. Should be called tea, sealed yet perforated paper cage. Suppose they can't fit that on the box, can they? I'd meet them halfway. Herbal prison of permeable mesh. I'm a reasonable guy. Another thing drives me mental. You know, the self-checkouts at supermarkets. Oh, God. I come away from there. I don't not feel like a man. I don't even feel like a mammal. I feel like an amoeba when I come out of that place. Because nothing swipes, does it? I'm swiping, nothing swipes. OK, I won't have carrots this week. I can live without butter. The other day I was begging it to let me have a chicken. You know? No, just have a chicken. Just a chicken. I was rubbing it, banging it, swiping it. I'm going to leave the money here and I'm going, OK? You do your worst. Oh, I hate coming out of that place. Yeah? I walk up there with 2 bags of shopping. I come away with a can of Coke and an apple. And for some weird reason, the apple swiped. It hasn't got a sticker on it. It worries me. I get annoyed by the most... You know what really annoys me? Wrong numbers. People dial me up with the wrong number. But I don't get angry. What I do, and you should do this, it's great fun, I don't let on it's a wrong number. It's great fun. So someone rings up, you know, hello. They say, is Mandy there? Mandy? Oh, yeah, just hold on a sec. Mandy! Mandy! Get your ass up here now! She's just coming, OK? Give me a sec. I don't know who it is. Some wanker! What have I told you? Don't wear your shoes in the house. Oh, put the special slippers on. She's just changing her shoes.
Request, if you know anybody who works for WhatsApp, just tell them to let us delete the message entirely, like it was never sent. Don't delete the message, but still write, Neil has deleted the message. Like a little telltale informer. So that your friend still texts and goes, what was in that message that you deleted it? You know when it says delete for me or delete for everyone? Who picks? Just for me, and just go and delete it for me, yeah? Yeah, still want them to see the awful stuff I've written, but I don't want to be reminded of how much of a dick I can actually be, yeah. It's like getting a tattoo removed and walking into the laser place going, what are my options for tattoo removal? You got 2 options. First option, we shine a laser on your leg, remove the tattoo so no one will see the tattoo. What is my second option? We shine a laser in your eyes so you won't see the tattoo. I'll go for option number 2, please. Thank you very much. I bought a new phone. I fell for the ad. You can put the phone on somebody else's phone and you can wirelessly transfer the charge. And the company thinks people are going to use that. No one's going to use that. Your charge is the single most important thing in your life. Look at your friends. They would prefer to donate a kidney to a stranger than to give you 5% of their mobile phone charge. You ever been abroad? Yeah? You ever been abroad? You bring 1 adapter, 1 charger between you and your spouse. The UN level of negotiation involved in getting the charger back from the person you love. Can I have the adapter, love? Can I have the charger? Can I have the adapter? Can I have the adapter? And they hit you with it. Absolutely, Neil. But what battery percentage do you have? And you look at the person you've chosen to spend the rest of your life with and you lie like a mofo, don't you? 3%, 2%, 0.5%. I've never even seen 0.5% in a mobile phone before, to be honest with you. Show me your phone, I'll plug it in for you. I can't show you my phone. Why can't you? I'm having an affair. How you hell having an affair? Show me your phone! We'll be in Spain. My wife will go and have a shower before we go out. She'll leave the bathroom door open and the shower door open. That is not an invitation to join her. You'll make that mistake once in your life, let me tell you that. It's because she doesn't trust you to not unplug her phone and plug your phone in. And she's right, because that's exactly what you do, isn't it? You plug her phone back in towards the end, so you got plausible deniability. You plug out my phone. I did not plug out your phone. It went up by 2% after a half an hour shower. That is because Spanish electricity is different. You plugged it in during the siesta and the wires were asleep. That's how it works here. If I talk to you in the front row, hope you know I'm just messing. You get great answers. I had a farmer at a gig once. I said, what do you do? He goes, I'm a sheep farmer. I said, I read recently sheep can recognise individual human faces. He went, well, as long as they can't give evidence, I should be. I had a South African man at a gig in Dublin once. I said, where are you from? Big blonde guy. He goes, Cape Town. I said, Cape Town is beautiful and warm and sunny. How did you end up in Dublin? He went, I got in the wrong container. The Irish guy, lovely fella, big guy, you know. Apparently we're going to be the most overweight country in Europe in a few years. And they tell us this like it's bad news. Oh, it's a catastrophe, it's a disaster. It's good news, ladies and gentlemen. Only 180 years after the worst famine in Western Europe. I call that a comeback, ladies and gentlemen. No one else has bounced back like we have. Those people in Pompeii just died. If they were Irish, they'd be selling lava lamps by now.
I came to Britain in the early 80s. We were refugees long before it became fashionable. But my favourite immigrants are Polish people because they've properly confused old-fashioned racists. Have you seen them? They don't know what to do. What do we do? What do we say? They're immigrants, but they're white. I heard this one bloke go, bloody Poles coming over here with their work ethic. Which isn't very politically correct, and I try so hard to be politically correct. Sometimes I take it too far. I was at a party recently and I said to my friend, have you met Steve? He's a really nice guy. My friend goes, which one's Steve? Steve was the only black guy in the room. I found myself going, Steve, yeah, he's over there. He's got blue jeans on, a grey T-shirt, sort of curly hair, and a Nigerian accent. And once I was performing at a comedy club and there was two black guys in the front row, like you two, but men and black. You are a man, sir, I'm sorry. It's the lights. And I said to them, so how do you two know each other? And they looked at each other and went, we don't. Might as well have had NF tattooed on my forehead. I didn't, it was felt tip. I like friendly, a little bit of friendly racism is nice. When I was a little girl, I used to always go to my friend Katie's house, and every time her dad opened the door, he'd go, hello, Shappy, been on holiday? So, I have a little boy, I have a baby boy, I'm a mum, and I'm looking at you, some of you are so young, I could be your mummy if I lived somewhere rural. Like a lot of women, I got to my 30s and I thought, I've got to have a baby now. Why, my mum's still young enough to look after it for me. And I went to all the antenatal classes, and this woman came up to me, one of the other mums goes, oh, how are you planning on losing your baby weight? And I was like, well, I was just thinking of having the child. And she was like, oh, I'm going to be a yummy mummy. I'm going to lose all my yummy mummy. That's just like a middle-class way of saying MILF. I was so happy when I found out that I was pregnant. And we had a scan and we knew that it was a boy. And people said to me, why did you find out the sex of your baby? Didn't you want a surprise? Well, it's going to be a boy or a girl, do you know what I mean? The only surprise would have been if it was a puppy. And there are no puppies in my family. There's one goat, it's not a blood relation. Thank goodness I have a child now. It was no fun being a broody Iranian woman. Every time I said to people, my body clock's ticking, they'd hit the ground. So with all that going on, when I did find out I was pregnant, I was so delighted. I thought, I am going to fill this child's life up with love and hope and understanding. My husband's reaction was slightly different. He walked around going, woohoo, my soul just worked. Easy. It's not his. Oh, the fuss he made when he found out I was cheating on him. Only child. Can't share. My husband's English, he's from Nottingham, and a lot of people ask me if my husband's Iranian. And I go, well, he's not, he's English, but he's planning to convert. His family are absolutely lovely, and when they first met me, they kept going, oh, Shappy's so exotic, she's so exotic, which means foreign, but not in a way that we hate.
I started learning French really young at the age of 8 or something in primary school, and our French teacher, to help it sink in our brains, used to play little games with us. And one of the games was that we had to draw a name out of the hat, and that would be our French name for the rest of term, yeah? So I withdrew Marcel, and she taught me that if anyone ever asked the question, comment tu t'appelles, my response should be, je m'appelle Marcel, right? Now, I got all the way to degree level and 2 trips to Paris with that knowledge, and no one ever corrected me. And I went in on my first day of the lecture, and the professor goes, bonjour, comment tu t'appelles? I thought, well, this is going to be a very easy course. I went, bonjour, je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? And I went, je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? And I went, je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? I went, je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? I was like, je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? I went, je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? I went, je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? And I went, what is wrong with you? You said you were French. I went, je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? What is your name? I was like, je m'appelle Marcel. My name is Stephen. So educated. And as part of our course, yeah, we had to do a year abroad. Hold on. Gap year. We did, Jimmy. We had to do a year abroad, right? So I moved to the south of France for a year, and I'm dating myself with this reference, I do know. But I thought it would be like a Hilary Duff film, right? Do you know where I'd like move to the south of France, get a job in a little boulangerie, fall in love, move into the guy's chateau, and never have to come and perform in Hammersmith? Do you know what I mean? And me and my friends all had a bit of a dream. Like my friend Kate, she's married to a guy now called Florent and lives in Nice. That was my dream, bitch. My friend Sam got with a guy while we were there, and his name was Nicolas. And I even got with a guy while we were there for one term, and his name was Kevin. It wasn't even Kevin. I went all the way to the south of France and found the only guy from Stockport. Just called me Sally Webster. And the thing I hated the most about doing that year abroad was I don't like flying. Give me a cheer if you like flying. Give me a cheer if you don't like it. Yeah. All the ones sat in the sky. I really hate it, yeah, because everyone's like it's the safest form of transport, but that's not true, is it? Because speak to someone that's been in a crash. And that is valid. That is really valid. And I've had to find my way of getting round it. You need hints, tricks, don't you? So my therapist said you just need to sit on the plane doing this. I get thrown off the plane if I do that, Julie. And the way I've been trying to get round it, hear me out, you're going to think I'm mad, right? Do you know sometimes when you look at someone and you think, like Aaron, I look at you and I go, you would never die in a plane crash. You've got that kind of face, you know, it's like, you're not going to go that way. Whereas some people, they've got that face where it's like, have you already been in one? And I flew to Dublin this year, and it was the best flight I'd ever had, right? Because I found someone like you, Aaron. I found someone. Peter Barlow from Coronation Street was on the flight. And I thought, Peter Barlow's not going to die on a Ryanair flight. He's already been through too much.
I was on holiday recently. I was on an all-inclusive. We all love an all-inclusive holiday, don't we? Oh, aye. Chips and gateau for breakfast. Yes. I always think it's amazing. I can always identify where people are from on an all-inclusive holiday. It's fascinating for me. Like the Italians. You can always tell the Italians because they could put on a bag of rags and look amazing. Then you can see the Germans, and they're quiet. And they're reserved. And then there's us. The British. That's interesting, isn't it? Because we all want to become pals with each other. I've had a pen pal in Woking for 25 years that I met in Lanzarote. But it was a really, really interesting for me because there's a way I can always tell if someone is from the south of England on holiday. And it's I don't need to hear your accent, nothing. The way, number one, I will tell if you are from the south of England is, it will be 9 o'clock at night. It's 28 degrees. The moon and the stars are out. And you come out wearing a wee jumper. Because it gets a bit chilly. It's 28 degrees. The moon's out. I'm Scottish. I'm like past the factor 50 hen. I do not trust the moon burn. Get me. The factor 50. Then there's another way I can always tell someone is from the south of England. You and I are on an all-inclusive holiday. We can eat as much as we want, and they will go to the bar and they will order a half pint. No, you can't order a half pint in Scotland. Next time you visit Scotland, try and order a half pint. That is one of the most tense conversations you will ever have. About 3 months ago, I went to a bar in my home city of Glasgow, and I says to the barman, can I have 2 pints of lager and a half pint of lager? And he looked at me, and he went, what was that? I said, it's 2 pints. He went, no, just the last one. I went, it's just a half pint of lager, mate. Hold on. Come here. Tell him. Just the last one. I mean, it's just a half pint of lager. Is that for you? It's for my pal. Ah. Are they on antibiotics? Are they pregnant? Would they like a colouring book and crayons with that?
The worst one, though, if someone's done something unstrong, we call them a weed. I don't know if there's any gardeners in. Weeds are the strongest bastard I've ever met. There's a weed called Japanese knotweed. You can cut it into 100 little bits, put it inside a plastic bag. It gets back out the plastic bag. This is a plant. It hasn't even got a face. Gets back out the plastic bag, meets back up with its mates, botanical term, gets back down into the ground, re-roots. It's so strong, so powerful, that it breaks up the foundations of buildings and destroys the value of property. Weeds can bring down capitalism, guys. And I'd like to see a pair of gonads do that. I have got no idea if my attempts to gentlify my son are having any impact whatsoever. I have no idea. I've seen one inkling, ever. He was playing with a couple of dinosaurs. He didn't know that I was watching. They were fighting. All his play is violent and fighting. But as the dinosaurs were fighting, I saw this. They were going, rah, 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 rah. And at the end of the fight, they went, goodbye, darling, goodbye. Yes, I did that. But the rest of the time, he's a nightmare. I'm so honest in my comedy about what a handful my son is. I feel like I need to reassure you, like, you know, I do love him. Don't ring anyone. I couldn't love him more. But if anything, that makes it weirder because you've got this very extreme, very intense love for someone. That makes it more confusing when their behaviour is objectively disgusting. I think it's best summed up in cliches with a 3-year-old because the cliches are true. So genuinely, without a second's thought, I would jump in front of a car for him. But also some days because of him. Because even if you take all of the violence out of the equation, just arguing with somebody that entitled but with no empathy is hard. And usually it starts from the second that you've woken up. I don't know if you've ever even shared a house with a 3-year-old. Normally, when you wake up, their creepy little face is already there. Saying something like, I've had a poo. They say anything that means that you have to get up. So once, I genuinely got, all the taps are on. And there was one day in particular that I will never forget because of the relentlessness of it. And it did start from the second that we'd woken up. Bing, eyes open. I was like, good morning, darling. And he was like, it's not morning, it's lunchtime. You're a lizard. I don't like daddy. You're not my best friend. Can I have a knife? Here we go. Come on, come to the kitchen. I don't eat meals anymore, only eat snacks. Can I have a cake? 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 Can I have a cake right now? That is not how you talk to me. Can I have a cake, please? Now I've got to give you a shitting cake. It's not even 7 a.m. That goes in, doesn't it? Brrr. Can I have another cake? Can I have another cake? Can I have another cake? Can I have another cake right now, please? Can I have another cake? Can I have another cake? The thing is, darling, what we've got to learn is that sometimes we want a nice thing, and then we get the nice thing, and we have to think, oh, wasn't it nice to have a nice thing? Doesn't mean we instantly have to have another 4. Can I have 4 cakes? 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 This went on so relentlessly that after a few hours of it, I, a grown-up, said to a 3-year-old I couldn't love more who asks for knives, and I meant it. I said, do you know what? You can have whatever you want. But I swear to you, he went, I don't want whatever I
I've got 6 kids, can you believe that? I know. 3 of them born in the same month. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And I will explain myself so I don't seem like a man whore to you guys. The 3 of them are all of the same lady. They are different ages, but they're all born in the same month. That baffled me for years. How do you get 3 kids, same lady, different ages, same month? People, I had to take a calendar and work this one out. I did. I had to count 9 months back from their birthday. Turns out it's my frickin' birthday. These are my little birthday presents, though, you know. You lot can clap and laugh and everything. When is my birthday now? I don't want no punani. You can give that shit. That's expensive fanny right there, innit? There's a lot of stuff I liked about parenting, and there's a lot of things I didn't like doing. I didn't like doing shit like, for instance, the school Christmas play. Have you not ever been to a primary school Christmas play? What a load of shit. It is. Come on now, there's no kids in here. What a load of shit. If you've never been, I'll explain.
First they usher you into the assembly hall and they sit us down, big grown folks, on them little miniature chairs. You ever seen them? Look at the size of me, I can't fit in one. They either do that or they sit you down on that long apparatus bench. Remember the long? That's what they sit big people down on for hours. So by the time you try to get up, you've got rigor mortis in your back. Not comfortable. 2, I've noticed of recent, these kids don't seem to rehearse their part they got in the Christmas play. Do you remember when we were younger? Everybody wanted a part in the Christmas play. Whether it was the top part or you could be a tree, it didn't matter. You was gonna play the best tree ever. You'd be in the front room like a dickhead for hours swaying. Asking Mum, how does that look? How does it look, Mum? How does it look? But we practice. And then they start singing. Fucking horrendous. It is. I don't care what you got to say. It's horrendous. They're out of tune and everything. You think, what kind of production is this? Worst part about it, your child always try to look out for you, don't they? To try to give you a little wave. My children always do that. Look out for me to wave at me like I freaking know them. You know what I mean? You're your mother's child today, boy. That's like that, innit? This embarrassment. Mums, you lot love it. You lot video it all the time. That's like, don't send me that bollocks. Send it to your mum and your sisters. They are. Didn't enjoy that. Didn't enjoy them cooking at school and bringing that poison home for me tonight. Do you know what I mean? I know, it's poison. Don't eat from these kids. They're looking early inheritance. Don't eat from them. Don't eat from them.